line of monstrous bandits advance towards you. You hear creaking coming from the woods, when suddenly, belching out from the forest, the dire troll. You're up first.
I cast Fireball.
That's all of them. Roll damage.
All sixes.
Yeah!
Booyah!
All right, you're next.
I cast Cone of Cold. It says AD8 right here. 64 points of damage.
I cast Lightning Bolt.
That's all right with me.
You just did that.
Radiates this like golden energy, and I cast shield.
He looks down in sorrow and then turns a fiery gaze to the rest of you. And that's where we're going to end tonight's episode.
You mother.
I'm Cork.
Nice. Cool.
Give him the official herald salute, Arcana crew.
Was that gonna be the answer no matter what?
Yes.
Okay.
And very quickly, my head just turns. It's almost like someone called me, and I look back at you and I give you one last wave and one little sad look before blowing you a kiss and waving goodbye.
She goes, hot damn, mama. And I'm gonna slap her on the ass, and then I'm gonna whip around behind.
We have an unboxing to do. This was sent to us by a wonderful viewer of the show who's been with us from the very beginning, I believe.
Yeah.
In this package, there are gifts for all of you, as well as candy to share.
I already prepped.
Okay.
Whoa!
Hooray.
The end of it now, you're coming to the other side. I need everybody to make one more constitution. And makes it over to this pillar.
Also, Cameron, this map looks amazing.
Right?
If I can throw that out.
I built it with my own two hands.
What about that other hand? What was it?
It watched. Stay safe out there, adventurers.
Listen, I can only catch the.
Welcome, travelers, to another exciting episode of Arcanarama.
Kavora shall witness what was promised of the severance.
I'm Cameron Holt. I'm joined, as always, by the intrepid Arcana crew. Introduce yourselves, Arcana crew.
I'm sorry for party rocking. Sam.
Hi. My favorite word, chortle. Josh Kitchen.
Don't ever apologize for party rocking. I'm kidding.
Volume 5 of Jock Jams. Taylor Higginbotham.
Love it.
Hell yeah. Before we begin, a few quick announcements to get through. So I'm going to throw it back over to Jock Jams Volume 5 to tell you a little bit about our first sponsor of the evening.
Ooh, let's get ready for our first sponsor. Rogue.com, where you can buy shirts and mugs and pillow and yoga pant and friend You can buy a friend there. Don't. You can't.
If your friend's a tree.
Yeah, if your friend's a tree, buy a shirt, and they'll send you a shirt that has nothing to do with the tree, but they'll tell you all about how the tree benefits the area in which they planted. These are real trees that they have
So you become
pictures
better
of.
friends.
It's a pen pal that, yeah,
Doesn't write back.
it
That's
doesn't write back. That'd
cannibalism.
be weird. Yeah, he's like, I'm going to use my friends to talk to you, in like the most horrible.
Cannibalism.
So buy some things from there because like you get a tree is planted for every item you buy. That's a tree, like a living tree that benefits the area around it. So go to thegildedrogue.com and
Buy a forest of merch.
Where the fuck were
Buy
you
a
on that one?
merch.
Forest of friends.
I was exhaling still from the talk,
Okay.
and I didn't have a chance to do the beat. So I'm just going to throw it back over to Cam. Thank you, Cam.
Thank you, Taylor. Sam? Who else sponsors this show?
Our other sponsors, More Fun Comics and Games. They're our local comic book shop. They do a lot of cool stuff in our community, including giving us cool stuff to give to you in our Discord giveaways. They give us tons of minis. Last month, I think at the time that this airs, last month, they gave us a bunch of really cool minis, and we got a Wild Beyond the Witchlight campaign book
Module.
Setting.
module.
Yeah.
So that you guys could have a cool, entirely Wild Beyond the Witchlight experience. Oh my god.
Wild.
Cultivated. Thanks to More Fun Comics and Games. Go check them out on social media at More Fun Comics and Games. Check out their website. You can buy comic books there.
Yeah.
And
Or occasionally
buy-
at MFGC Denton on some platforms.
There's links in our About section.
See,
That there are.
Get in there.
Get
Mess
in
around. Put it all
there.
back.
Kitty, what kind of cool shit can people find in our treasure trove over at patreon.com/Arcanarama?
Well, let me tell you all
it's
about
like
it.
young Pete.
Patreon, if you are in
Practicing.
there, then you get stuff for it. And the things are Chaos Hours, which we record and post every single episode, talking about what happened, what could have happened. It's chaotic. We're all tired and hot most of the time. It's good. Good fun. Guardians of the Phoenix podcast that we recorded pre-filming ourselves. It's very fun and also a little chaotic, and it's 2 episodes per month get posted in the Patreon. Number 3, we got fucking artwork out our asses. Okay?
I'm shitting it.
Every time
You'll
Sam
have to clean
shits.
it.
Sam's shitting artwork right now.
Yeah,
True.
We have to get her a special seat.
yeah. I have a lot of fans.
You think it's like a toilet? It's closer to a paper shredder. It's like a little slot.
Yeah. So there's artwork that's
What
like,
does my butthole look like?
you'll never know.
It comes out sideways.
You've never stood over a mirror and just.
Thanks, Kitty.
I think there's more stuff.
Is it me?
Yeah.
You don't want. You want to do a butthole check?
Roll for butthole.
Roll for butthole.
Nat 20!
Best butthole.
I'm gonna take a picture and
a
hopefully
clean
remember
mirror.
to send it.
You ever go to roll a die and then it doesn't roll and it like
Puh.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
just like.
I know that our audience could think that I'm lying, so I'm gonna send this to you guys right now.
Okay. And then we'll screenshot the time code.
Yeah.
Don't send us a picture of your butthole.
No, it's the Nat 20.
Oh wait,
What's
we're
up,
holding up our numbers. I
buttholes?
just thought we were showing our hands.
I'm out of fingers.
Look at his hands.
2, 10, 9.
17.
Okay, yeah.
How do you say teen in ASL?
Wait,
Yes.
have you actually? What's actually 9 in ASL?
I have no
You know,
idea.
that's a
This one?
question that Alexa can't answer.
It's I don't know.
She might try.
That's
I've tried this new bit at the house where I ask Alexa questions that she cannot answer, or they're just like buck wild. It's been fun, and I do it in a really horrible voice that I can't do right now. It's really just in the moment.
Al, show me a picture of a butterfly.
Yeah, it's like Al, who went on the longest diet? It's really inane questions.
Wonderful. Well, with all of that out of the way, it's time to infiltrate the Temple of the Lost God in tonight's episode of Arcanarama. Previously on Arcanarama. The Mistwalkers teleported into Craghold Penitentiary and immediately started raising hells. 64 inmates were released from their cells to cause havoc against the encroaching guards, as Silas released a spray of poison gas from the Kesso-enhanced dust of sneezing and choking, engineered by Howie. With the guards suffocating, prisoners rioting, and general panic filling the halls of the penitentiary, the Mistwalkers, along with Kyrus and his wife Rashmi, reconvened and were safely teleported back to Skyward Silks. From there, the Mistwalkers set out to gather Pete as Kyrus and Rashmi disembarked to rendezvous with the Harshan nomads in preparation of the return of the people's artifacts. With Pete in tow and plans to meet up with Kyrus, the party set out from Gold Run to the Temple of the Lost God, learning from town criers along the way that the king of the Grimdalian Empire had been assassinated within his castle at Zauberwald. The party continued to the Temple of the Lost God, where they met up once again with Kyrus Threadwind. After an unsuccessful attempt at persuading the guards to let them into the temple, the Mistwalkers made short work of the patrol and set foot within the temple itself. What mysteries and hidden dangers lie in wait within the Temple of the Lost God? Are the Mistwalkers ahead of the game, or are they unknowingly stepping into a trap? Find out right now on Arcanarama. We continue where the Mistwalkers find themselves amidst the lightly bloodied sands and grasses outside of the Temple of the Lost God. What's the plan from here?
You want to do a thing?
Yeah.
I mean, we might need to know the other side of that passphrase. That'd be good.
I mean,
It seems to be kind
Wait,
if we had had our paperwork, then we would have just gotten
talk
in
to
as
dead people?
archaeologists, yes?
of right.
I don't. No, I don't.
you can't.
I can't.
Can you talk to dead people?
If only if they speak first. And
I don't have any potions for that. Sorry.
Anyway, I think if we had had the archaeologist paperwork that we're waiting on, there wouldn't have been any sort of discussion of Black Rain, and we would just go in as archaeologists.
Right.
Yeah.
we could say we left our paperwork up there with the broad-shouldered fella,
Yeah.
who's still alive, which we don't have to
The
clarify.
name we definitely know.
We got. He was very discreet.
Nice guy.
Didn't explain who he was at all.
But at a certain point, it was kind of like he was speechless. Mouth agape.
He was so taken aback by how authorized we are to be here that he forgot to give us his name. Yes? I feel like that
I'm here for
works. I'll do it. Yeah.
I mean, what? The worst comes to worst, we do this again. It's fine. You got it.
Oh,
Yeah,
sure.
that's
I mean,
true.
Yeah. You guys didn't overextend yourselves out there? No?
I can make room.
Oh. You're not gonna cry again, are you?
It depends on how things go.
Right.
Maybe we just, try to keep our heads down, find the tablets, and maybe don't talk to anyone.
Yeah, we should sneak, and if we feel like we should be gods, we can throw on the god gob.
Yeah.
God gob. God gob.
Well, shall we step
You seem like
inside?
you're having a good day.
Yeah, the
You
prison
seem
break.
happy.
I'm really.
He's been wanting to use that dust.
He's been
Yeah.
wanting to use that
Just,
dust
and
so long.
so many of them were affected at one time.
Stepping through the tall, slender opening, you enter a grand hall with high ceilings adorned with faded murals depicting scenes of battles, beautiful landscapes, and intimate meetings. The floor is a mosaic with thousands of colored tiles displaying 3 stylized eyes whose corners meet at a central point. I do not have an image of this prepared because I forgot, but I will by the time this airs.
Whee!
On
Getting
one-
that disc.
Yeah. On one side of the hall, there's an ancient altar of red and black marbled stone with inscriptions in an unknown language, and on the other, a shattered statue that's vaguely humanoid in nature. At the back of the chamber is a threshold that leads to a narrow corridor of hanging tapestries. Then there's another strand of the unfamiliar text carved above the doorway.
Can I check out that statue?
Yeah.
Or can I find a discernible face in it, or is it pretty shattered?
Easy enough. I'd say no roll required even. You see that it seems to have crumbled from time. At some point, it weakened in the middle and just kind of like fell over, whether that's due to like weathering or just age in general. But strangely, you can see like a section that would be shoulders leading up to a head that's still intact. The face and head of the statue, however, are completely smooth and featureless, which is strange compared to not just the rough nature of the rest of it, but the intricate detail of the rest of the statue.
Can I
Third.
touch the doorway that the words are on and use the helm?
Yeah, you put the helm on. The doorway or the altar? There's writing on
there on
there's
both?
there's writing on an altar to the right, and then there's writing above the doorway as well, at like the back of the chamber.
Probably do the altar first.
Okay, excellent. Howie, did you have another question?
Oh, the stone that it's made out of is red and black. Is it like anything interesting or out of the normal of like, you know, a granite or something?
No, it appears to be carved from the same. It's interesting. It's similar in nature to how a lot of like current dwarven constructions are, where like they'll carve into a mountain, and any like notable features or large pieces of furniture will be crafted from the stone that exists there already. This is very similar to that. It seems to be all made from the same kind of red and black marbled stone. Think in terms of like, are you guys familiar with the wave in Oregon?
No.
I think that's what it's called.
Oh, I wasn't expecting it. I was thinking about Oregon.
Oh.
Or Oregon if you're from the West Coast.
I'm
Do
sorry,
you want to?
no.
Do you want it? Hold on.
Yeah, it should work. He would have to start it.
Maybe that's not what it's
Yeah.
called.
Wait.
Oh, it's Taylor's turn.
Oh, then use it. It go to.
Right.
Oh, maybe it's in Utah.
Huh? No.
Sorry, forgive me. It's in Utah.
It has to go.
Oh,
this
like
way.
the canyon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This is
Yeah.
the kind of stone that we're working with.
Oh, that's cool.
So
Different.
it's in Utah.
I hate to say this again. Welcome back this week. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. they use the wave.
That's hilarious.
I've got a really good memory from week to week, you know?
Yeah. Yes.
He just really loves Indiana Jones, so he knows that every
Yeah.
week he's mentioned it.
You watch the new one?
It's a bit of both. Yeah.
It's
Oh,
not
yeah.
bad. It's actually kind of fun.
It's better than the fourth.
I've
Nice.
got like
So much better than the fourth.
so behind on movies,
Just-
y'all.
It's time to go.
See
Cholula,
Barbie.
you place the helm of comprehend languages on your head,
Yeah.
and you step forward and you touch the altar. And as you touch it, like in a ripple from your hands, the words shift and change into symbols from Common that you can recognize. You see, before it shifts, there are certain areas between the odd script that are completely smooth. The majority of the text is full of lilts, arcs, curls, and slash-like symbols with no breaks, sometimes for multiple like lines. Then there will be a sudden brief, smooth section. As it shifts into common symbols that you could read aloud, it's still gibberish to you. Just a lot of like A-R-esh, H-R's that make a quick intelligence check.
Do I see her put on the helm?
Yeah, I would say you all are aware of Cholula putting this thing over that covers her eyes fully, and there's like 2 glowing green gems that she's looking through.
12.
12. You see this strange symbol above the R's that has this kind of like waviness to it, and due to the nature of the helm, you get this like impression that those are supposed to be like rolled R's.
Okay.
Read it aloud if you can. It's meant to be phonetic.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. I'll say again, no roll required. You give it your best shot to read it aloud. Silas, you hear the rest of you hear Cholula making these harsh kind of like ash, dash, like very odd sounds and almost like clicks that go back to back. Silas, you hear Cholula speaking relatively clearly as she says, "In the eyes of the stars' whispered secrets, time bowed before her wisdom. She who held the threads of destiny, guides our souls along twisting fates. The voice of echoes through past and future, transcending mortal veils of time and space. And you get the sense that those odd pauses, it's like there's something that was removed from the text.
Would that be possible to be sent here? I
Yeah.
tried to shorthand it, but
Yeah, same. I was like, whoa, cannot.
I just did like I star secrets. That's going to be nothing in 3 hours. There's a baby to be had. Can't be translating languages a friend made up. That's the first thing they tell you not to do.
This was just English.
Taylor doesn't speak that. Insensitive.
All right,
So
that's in
you're
the
not
Discord.
gonna have time in the future for things like translating languages.
Okay, the blanks. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I'm just trying to remember how we.
So,
Um,
sorry, dumb joke.
Silas, do you translate that for your friends?
I say as she's speaking it, I'm kind of like I'm like kind of holding on to Cholula's shoulder, and I'm
Onto
just
your
kind of like,
hold on to my soul.
and I'm like just kind of like drone speaking it. Like my eyes are just
Okay.
like 1,000 yards away.
Yeah,
I'm just
Just
saying
write it
in
down and
common.
say,
Yeah, for sure. It's very much like hearing a translator.
go. Eyes of the stars.
So, how did we decide that this spell works differently because the language is old?
Yes, because Welby Durgington, who created the helm, does not have comprehension of this language. His items that he creates also cannot comprehend it, but they can translate it into a readable common.
Okay.
If you can speak it phonetically, I can translate.
So wait, the parts that are missing look worn down or
Smooth.
purposely
Like somebody erased
someone
them.
took some sandpaper?
Make an investigation check.
Yeah. Is it omitted or erased? Or avoided? Never mind. I go to bed. 5.
9.
I think mine's 17.
Oh, damn.
17, nice. Howie, it's interesting.
Yeah.
It is smooth and there's no depression. You see the other words are carved a good like maybe 1/4 inch deep each into the stone altar. But in the blank spaces, it's like there never was anything carved there. So it's less that it was erased and more that it was never present to
And
begin
you,
with.
the same thing was about the face, right? Like the body is detailed, but you said the head was
Correct.
perfectly
Is
smooth?
Perfectly smooth.
Do we recognize the body?
You can make a religion check with disadvantage.
I'm gonna get a nat fucking 20. 2 of them right here. This is it. Mwah, mwah.
Can I do this as well?
One of them is a nat 20, but the other one is an 8.
13.
Is that disadvantage?
Yes.
Okay.
You hear me, Fred?
13 also.
13. Those of you who rolled 13s, the dress that is carved into this, it's clearly a feminine figure. You can mostly only see from kind of like the hips down due to the shattering and the torso being still like on the ground to the side of it. But the dress looks very similar to the fashion that Rashmi had dressed in after she changed when she was brought back from the prison, which was unlike a lot of clothing that you've seen specifically in Vassacre. It was more like a belt that had a little bit of cloth that hung like between the legs, but then there were these twisted threads that individually hung down around it, creating this sort of like draping veil. But like when she would step, her legs would pass through that part. And it's a very similar design.
Okay.
So you're not sure if that's like specifically relevant to Harshan peoples or what the deal is.
Okay.
Very, very expertly carved though.
Yeah.
And like a lot of the pieces have like broken off and shattered over time just because they're so thin.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
But you don't have any ideas as to like what, if any, god this is depicting.
One more, just get break out the evidence pack. I know that dwarven stuff is like carved. They use might to make their things. Does this look like it's been formed in any different way? You said it was similar to dwarven, but
Make an investigation check.
okay.
So it seems that a name has been left out.
14? 14? I would say, Silas, you can see that where normally there would be like no tool marks in Dwarven's make, there are areas around the edges of these that you can tell that it wasn't necessarily like chiseled or hammered. It's like it was sanded. Like the entirety of this space was just worn down over time.
Like the characters are sanded into, kind of?
The characters, the statue.
Is there a breeze in here?
All of the details. There's a faint breeze coming from behind you through the tall, narrow doorway.
Are there any gods I can think of that have like a domain over time?
Make a religion check.
Right. I say we sneak forward and
What this thing too? Can you read that?
over the door.
No, it's the.
We did the altar first.
Oh, the altar. Oh, over the door. Yeah.
Oh,
Got
it's not a
them
one.
mixed up.
My failures are constant, nevertheless.
There's so many dice in front of you.
True. I think I've seen
Also,
these.
just for y'all's reference, this is a very quick Sharpie sketch that I did in 2 seconds, but this is kind of what
Yeah.
the mural on the ground is. It's depicting these 3 eyes, all with different pupils.
Okay.
What'd you get?
10.
10. You don't know of any gods that would have like the domain of time.
Okay.
That is unfamiliar to you.
Door.
Yeah. If you want to stand on my shoulders, if you need a better look, is it a normal door or a big time door?
This one is more normal. It's still about 10 feet high, but
Big time door.
You would need to touch
yeah,
it, right?
if you can give me a boo.
but yeah, it's not the like 30-foot opening of the entryway.
Just like swat.
yeah, following the same.
Probably like along the side, just so that we're not like in the middle of the doorway to somewhere where there might be other people.
For sure. Yeah, you kind of get hoisted up on Silas's shoulders, touch the text, translate it. It reads Hall of Echoing Whispers.
Hall of Echoing
All of
Whispers.
echoing whispers.
In the same language?
Yes.
Assumed. All of echoing whispers. I heard that before. Where have I heard that before? Well, whispers are like echoes, right? We've heard that.
That's a point.
We've heard that? Have we heard that?
The voice of
I don't think so.
persons echoes. Like in the other one it says not together, says echoes and also says whispers. The stars whispers.
Oh yeah,
secrets.
in the previous text.
Yeah.
In the eyes of blank, the stars whispered secrets.
Yeah.
Time bowed before her wisdom. She who held the threads of destiny guides our souls along twisting fates. The voice of blank echoes through past and future, transcending mortal veils of time and space.
The stars whisper secrets.
So maybe the whispers are the
Their
tablets.
voice echoes through past and future. And the stars whisper secrets. Okay.
Unless this god can, physically travel backward in time and had their own name
Do
never carved.
I know anything about Harshan people at all?
Make a history check.
Okay.
Shalula does stuff with fate.
She does.
Does that feel like it might be in the vein of what we're trying to...
Potentially. You know that is arcane in nature, which if this is a temple to a deity, that would be
odd.
divine. That would be more kind of your bag.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Yeah, you know that the Harshan peoples are a hardy people,
Mm-hmm.
typically nonviolent, though They are trained in combat. Those who grow up within Harshan communities are trained in combat from a young age. A lot of like monks among the Harshan, basically, in terms of fighting style. And you know that they have a tradition of gift giving, and that gift giving is like a big part of their culture. And most of their trade and bartering is just that. It is bartering. It is trading items or services for different things. And it's said that if you give a helpful gift to a Harshan person, then they will regard you as a friend until you prove otherwise.
But nothing about what they like.
Nothing
believe
about their
in,
worship
religion.
or anything like that.
I guess.
A lot of that, I would say on that history check, you would know that a lot of that was lost when a number of the Harshan were eradicated when humans showed up on Vassacre. The Yellow Plains was kind of like their region, and then when humans landed here and decided that it was now their region and the Crexan Empire started to spread, there were a lot of tensions between the two peoples, and because they were less advanced than the human civilizations, a lot of them were wiped out.
I wonder if they can't like
Can I peek through?
write their god's name or speak with their god, or you know.
I think this one is forgotten specifically. The way that everybody talked about it, at least.
Oh yeah.
Can I peek through the doorway and see if I can see any people
Yeah, make a perception
in
check.
the next room?
It's weird to know that much other stuff, but forget the name though. Like
25.
25. Looking through, you don't see any people. You don't like hear anyone within the chamber, and it's this next little hallway, this like corridor, is something that's unsettling to me. You guys might not feel the same way, but the way that the tapestries are hanging down from the ceiling and are kind of like staggered amongst one another, it blocks your view of the other end of the chamber, so you can't even really tell how long the corridor is, because there are just like these little tapestries.
Yeah.
On
Like
that,
close out on a wire, like try to walk through.
yeah, for sure. Or like those parts of like haunted houses where there's like the plastic things,
Yeah.
like butcher plastics.
I'm gonna, if I could, open my umbrella briefly and like extend a shadow or mist and pass without a trace if I could on everyone close.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll continue with our trend of we'll roll stealth if you guys need to, but we'll know that you have that for the next hour.
The tapestries, are they
They're sort of
they like ancient, or have they been placed here recently?
they look very old. They're tattered and kind of faded green and yellow fabrics. Not the same greens and yellows of the like archaeology guild,
Yeah.
but like very, very faded and threadbare.
Okay.
Do they have any?
Yeah,
wording
is
on
there a
them?
depiction?
Would you guys like to enter the chamber?
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Crossing-
creep in.
For sure. Crossing the threshold into the narrow corridor, there are tapestries hanged of tattered and faded green and yellow fabrics. Passing through, the tapestries occasionally brush against your shoulders and heads and faces as you're stepping through the space, kind of like moving them out of the way. And you feel this gentle breeze that's blowing at like a constant, steady pace within the hallway, even though it's far from any moving source of open air this far into the temple. As the tapestries brush against you uncomfortably, you swear that you can hear a chorus of low whispers emanating from the air around you. And I need everyone to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh.
Can I understand what they're saying with this helm on?
The helm is specifically for written text.
It says that it's both.
Does it?
It says you understand the literal meaning of any spoken language that you hear. You also understand written language, but you have to touch the surface.
Interesting. Yes.
Nice.
Rather, at this moment, you can't hear specifics because it's just that low whisper, but
Yeah,
let's
that's fine.
get these
Speak on.
saving throws.
16.
18.
27.
Natural 1, 27. The only one of you that can actually make out anything that's being said is Silas. and like the rest of you are just like hearing this low whispers. Cholula, you feel like you could make out the words, but there are so many of them overlapping that it's hard to pick out which words go together. The two of you, Alma and Howie, you just hear the Harshan language being whispered, and it's very low, this low like susurrus that just washes through your ears. Silas, you hear and can differentiate these 3 key phrases on your time passing through.
The arrival of man brings war, death, and industry. A crisp shower at the darkened threshold unites the threads of fate and weaves them tightly together, never to be undone. A forked tongue ends one people in favor of another. The puppet mink weeps as the sly troll grins. The unlikely shall not always seize their own threads, but the choice to weave their will remains.
It's just like all at once echoing around you as you're passing through. It's like each time you brush against a new tapestry, another phrase is whispered to you. Make an insight check.
This is for me.
I think it's cocked. You had to do it 3 times to get it set on there.
Fuck me. 22.
22. Yeah, these seem to be whisperings of maybe minor prophecies. You don't hear anything that seems to correlate specifically to your group. But I'd say on that insight check, the arrival of man brings war, death, and industry. That's man's arrival at Vassagre.
Right. Could I correlate them with the ones that I'm passing by?
Yeah.
Do they match in age, or are they all just the same amount of old?
They all seem to be very, very old.
Okay.
Kairos is going to kind of like quietly speak out to you guys and be like, do you guys think that we should maybe grab some of these?
Do they look like they can be safely touched?
I mean, you've been passing through them, and they're not like crumbling.
Oh, they're not like on the wall.
Make an investigation check, actually.
I decided to just kind of like hunkered down listening to all of them, like trying to like locate like a radio.
Yeah.
So I
Oh, that's right, you did, didn't you?
You
20 on the
nasty boy.
investigation.
You're nasty.
20 on investigation. These are actually woven from like thin wire.
Oh.
They appear to be like metallic in nature. There is some like fibrous threads mixed in, and that seems to be mostly what's worn and faded. You said 20 investigation?
No, dirty.
Dirty 20.
It's dirty.
Yeah, you still rolled a 20 or higher.
Yeah.
You see that the thread, or sorry, the wire that is woven strikes a very striking similarity to the writing system that was on the altar and above the door. And it's like makes up the majority of each of these tapestries.
Oh.
Natural 1 for Howie. I need you to roll something. I want to say a D4.
I think it's a D4.
Oh, righto.
Yeah. 4.
Doc.
4? Nice. Howie, the whispers intensify for you. And you feel almost like an offering. You get the sense that at some time within the next 10 minutes, you could reach out to these whispering voices and ask them about the results of a specific action or course of action that you plan to take, and perhaps receive a response on whether or not that is a good course of action to take.
Next minute. Awesome.
You could see about taking some.
Sure.
I've got room, and
I'm pretty good at scaling, so I could probably get up to the top where they're fastened to the ceiling and clip a couple off.
start with this one, and I'll catch it here on the bottom.
Do I get the sense that this is a good course of action to take?
How you kind of like quietly ask if this is a good idea, and
Should we be doing this?
the whispers coalesce around your ears. You can feel plosives of like P's and F's and S's as they speak into your ears, as they just kind of say,
Say what?
which is wheel for good results.
Oh,
Basically,
yeah.
what happened is you get
Yeah.
you get access to one question of the augury spell.
I get wheel, or what's the other one?
Wheel or woe,
Woe.
or wheel
Whoa.
and woe, or nothing if it's results that won't be good or bad.
I don't know why I thought it was ruin. It feels so much worse.
So this, whatever spirits or voices are speaking to you, seem to think that this is a good idea.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, I'm gonna roll for Kairos. Fucking natural 1.
That's just to scale.
Yeah,
Right?
I'm gonna say because he was scaling specifically the wall and not just like climbing up a tapestry like a jackass. All that's gonna happen, he's gonna get like 20 feet up and reach out to cut, and he's gonna lose his grip and fall, and take 5 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh, Silas, can you try?
I was going to place them in this bag if someone wants to take this. I'll climb
I
up
could
there.
also. How much space do we have here?
Yeah, what's the vertical?
And also the.
It goes about 20 feet up to the top of the chamber.
Oh,
Kairos
no
kind of like
worries.
dusts himself off. He's like,
I've
no,
got
don't
a-
worry about it. I'm fine.
I could just fly up there.
The backpack.
Because I don't have to grip onto anything to stay up there.
Right,
Oh, hell
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just do that.
Yeah.
That's way easier than my thing. Do you need like a knife or anything to cut the...
I have a dagger.
these- I mean, to your credit, the walls are very smooth.
Smooth.
Yeah, like misleadingly so. You'd think with like the different types of rocks that they got there that there'd be like some grip between them, but nah.
I'm gonna fly up and
Okay.
carefully cut the tapestries down. If I can, I'll lower them
Yeah.
slowly.
Easy enough. They're heavier than you would expect, but probably you would anticipate that a little bit because they are made mostly from just
Yeah.
like 20-foot long strands of metal wire that's been woven together.
Do I get the impression that I should roll them or like let them do like the little like
I
velvety
think rolling would
cheese thing?
probably be the better,
Can
better
I see
option.
one of them? And they're like all written
Yes.
words, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try to translate one of them with Silas while they're gathering the others.
Am I
Okay.
still hearing the voices?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like speaking probably too loud.
It gets quieter as they're being rolled up.
Okay.
Cholula, I will say, I don't have something like written prepared for this,
Okay.
but this is 20 feet, like 20 feet long by maybe like a foot and a half wide of like scrolling text.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe
And it's
later.
like it's like very small. That yeah, like you could read the whole thing, but it's hard to tell. I will say just from like a cursory glance, and with Silas's help, translating it to common from the text that it is, it appears to be multiple, like multiple prophecies that are, there's like no punctuation, there's no commas, there's no periods. Occasionally you reach a blank spot. The wire has just been pulled completely straight, where something has that. It seems like consistently there is a name that has been
Redacted.
removed, yeah, or redacted. But yeah, it seems to be just like a list of prophecies that are, like, some of them might be important, or some of them could just be referencing like someone's going to drop something or like spill something on their cloak. It seems to encompass a lot of different stuff.
And things that have already happened, as we've determined.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Or maybe things that have yet to happen. As you're rolling them up and kind of like taking a look at the wire, whoever would like to can go ahead and make a base intelligence check. This is to sort of gather like how old these are.
I'll give it a shot. As it gets quieter, I'll explain what I heard. But just as it was coming in, I wasn't going to be able to.
Fine.
Anyone do it?
I'm pulling back.
14?
14,
16.
16, nice. I'd say, Howie, you get less from the metal, but more from the fibers that are woven within. For this type of natural fiber to have degraded in this interior space, which, like, looking at the walls, there's no like water damage or leakage in this particular chamber, at least. These have to be hundreds of years old, if not like pre-severance.
Wow. Yep.
Yeah. I'll explain what I heard.
Can you repeat that?
Yeah, could that be sent
Yeah.
as well?
This one I
wrote
can't
3
send
bullet
because I have little reminders for myself.
like-
But I can
Click drag text? Do you have Discord on that logo?
not open currently.
It would have to
I'll get
update.
it to you guys after the session.
Sure.
The arrival of man brings war, death, and industry. A crisp shower at the darkened threshold unites the threads of fate and weaves them tightly together, never to be undone. A forked tongue ends one people in favor of another. The puppet mink weeps as the sly troll grins.
A puppet? Say that last part again?
The puppet mink weeps as the sly troll grins. The unlikely shall not always seize their own threads, but the choice to weave their will remains.
Yeah,
Those are the ones you can pick out.
That last one more time, sorry.
Yeah, no worries. The unlikely shall not always seize their own threads,
Okay.
but the choice to weave their will remains.
Okay. Got it.
The wheel weaves as the wheel will.
The mink, is that in reference to the Gold Run image?
Potentially. You know that the symbol of House Spartus is 3 minks chasing each other in a circle. Do you guys continue on to the next chamber? Whoever has a bag of holding, you can add like 10 tapestries of prophecy.
Yeah.
Continuing on, the Hall of Echoing Whispers opens to a circular chamber ahead. You can hear a number of voices conversing within, each with more presence than the whispers from the prior hall. And now I need you guys to make a stealth check.
No. 35?
Nice.
37.
37. Don't forget to add 10 for Pass Without a Trace.
29.
29.
19.
19. Nice. Oh, I'll roll for Pippin and Kyrus real
Oh,
quick.
yeah.
And Pete.
Pete.
7. Hang on. let
He's
me-
invisible again,
20.
isn't he?
Pete is, yeah. 17 plus 15.
32.
32. 42 for Pippin.
Jesus.
Kyrus didn't roll as great, but he is proficient in stealth, so we're going to treat that as a 10. 34 for Kyrus. And Pete with advantage because he's invisible. 7 plus 9. 19 for Pete as well.
23 for Hank.
Nice. You guys staying very quiet. Kind of like peer around the corner into this next chamber. And you see 4 men in splint armor that stand conversing in the chamber, wearing the same green and yellow tabards with the winged compass, in which the guards outside were wearing. The walls of the chamber are marbled with black and red stone, adorned with intricate carvings depicting mountains, forests, deserts, fire, rain, waves, and chasms. At the center of the large chamber is a massive hourglass filled with sands flowing upwards towards the ceiling. At the other side of the chamber, through the partially frosted glass of the giant hourglass, you see a set of closed double doors that seem to lead further into the temple. While you guys are here, staying very, very quiet, you hear what a couple of the guards are saying. They're kind of like mid-conversation as you step up. Keep on your watch, men. We're expecting company at any moment now.
How do we know that, sir? I thought they needed the experts from the Celestial Arcanum to read the table.
Not from the tablets, you twit. From the Falcon and the Wizened One. Things have shifted overseas, and they've moved up the timetable. Just be on your guard. The Wizened One has already arrived at the Chamber of Prophecy. We're to subdue those from the drawings and kill any others. Understand? The other 7 guards respond in unison.
Yes, sir.
And they continue to kind of like, a couple of them are circling the room. It's a large chamber. A couple of them are kind of like circling around. A couple of them are continuing to have a conversation. There's a few of them playing cards. My brain stopped working. Did I say that there were, Did I say that there were 4 guys or 8 guys?
I heard 4, and then I heard a description of more.
Okay, that was my bad. There are 4. The other 3 speak in tandem. My bad.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll talk about it in Chaos Hours.
No.
They said
There's
that.
so many things
Get at
happening.
us in
there's-
the chat. You're going to be really late.
So there's 2 guys that are kind of like patrolling around the room, mostly just like walking because they seem kind of bored, and then 2 more that are playing cards.
A couple of y'all want to get like the jump on them. You can use the dagger. I think we still have a few more.
These drawings that they mentioned, I assume, are beyond the door, not in this room.
You don't see any drawings. They're like the carvings in the walls that are depicting these different landscapes, but you don't see like drawings per se.
So they said that the timetable has been moved up, and they're expecting trouble. And who are they killing?
Anyone that isn't depicted in the drawing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The wizened
Something about a
one-
falcon?
The wizened one is already
Yeah.
there. And
Is
Yeah,
the-
they said we're to subdue those from the drawings and kill any others.
Are the
wizened one?
Falcon and the Wizened One Horus and Gendry?
Potentially.
When you cast Sending to somebody, do they know instinctually who it is? Or
Where it came
if
from.
you were to like disguise, can you disguise yourself somehow?
I would say, based on the way that we've been playing, you could.
Based
Try
on the
and
way that
disguise it.
every time I send
If you were to-
something, I go,
It's
"Hi,
me.
it's Alma."
Yeah, I would say if you roll a successful deception check, then yes, you could potentially trick them.
The drawings, they're not like on the walls.
No.
They're not visible to us.
There are
us
carvings
then.
on the walls. You get the sense that the drawings are referencing something that they have been shown prior.
Okay. I'm gonna use the rings in tandem with like, I know Pete doesn't have one, with like a, maybe we should just try to stay quiet and get to the next room without being noticed, and kind of do like a circle around motion for people that can't hear what's in the rings.
If we run into something there, we're like, got our backs to more people now.
We in a shit sandwich is what he's trying to say.
Barricade the
So
door.
we kill them?
We'd have to do it
Unless
quietly.
we stay quiet the whole time. The risk that we run is if we leave them breathing and we run into more problems down in the next chamber, then we're just going to have to know that people are coming up behind us.
Right.
Which, I mean, they wouldn't necessarily get the drop on us if we know that they're going to come from there.
You said there's 4, and there's 6 of us?
There
7.
are 7 of you? There's the 4 of you, Pete, Kyrus, Pippin.
Yeah, 7.
Silas, can you still make it quiet?
A small area?
How small?
Maybe we could. Seems like they're doing rounds. One of them's bound to walk by this opening. Maybe we pull that one in, and then
If we make it quiet in our area?
yeah, and then if we lure the other ones over to come look for them, then we just take them all out.
2 of these, roughly? Maybe a bit more?
Okay. So maybe when one comes around, we pull them in, and if you could make it silent, we can take that one out before the other one realizes that he's been removed, and then same thing when the next one comes by.
I figured we could double up on all of them except for one. Right? I could take
But
one
then
out.
if there's people in the next room, then they may come in here.
Yeah. I could leave it up for a while. I haven't left it up. I haven't made it silent for a long time before, but we do 10 minutes, it feels like. Takes a bit of concentration. Anything else?
You got
I
it.
think that sounds good if it sounds good to y'all. So when one of them passes by, we grab him, pull him in, make it silent, take him out. When his friends come over to investigate where he's gone,
I
we'll
might,
drop him.
I might have something that could help us to kick things off.
Are we trying to stay quiet about it?
Yes.
Okay.
Now.
Be near silent.
I'm just saying, if they all get over in the same little area for a second, I could probably take them all out.
Right.
Could it be a 20-foot area?
I have. How
Does
big
it-
is the room that they're in?
The room that they're in is
Circular?
a big circular room. It may be like a 100-foot diameter.
Okay.
It's a huge space.
I have an effect that would make things difficult for anybody who tries to come into the room.
Okay.
And if I time it right, it would also maybe get some people who are in there.
I have something where I can try and look into the next room and see if anyone's in there, and we can
Same.
determine whether or not we need to be quiet.
We could get there.
I think it would be better if we use that when we absolutely don't know what could be going on, behind a door that we're about to go into.
These
In
guards are
this
dressed
case-
like the ones we have. Like the
Yes.
outfits we have. Cool. In this case.
Somebody roll me a quick luck check. Just a d20.
I don't want to do it. I've been hot and cold today.
Things have gone
you wanna-
bad over here.
You want a high roll?
Yeah, I've been hot and cold today.
Me too.
Hey.
Let's be hot.
14.
14? 14's pretty good. Yeah, the guard is kind of like taking his time.
One of the two that was kind of so. Just to kind of set the scene for you guys, there's the doorway that you are kind of like standing in or like around from the hallway. There's the big circular chamber with the hourglass in the center. The guards were on the other side of the hourglass talking. 2 of them are sitting there playing cards next to the other door. And then 2 of them started like patrolling around. On a 14, one of them is going to turn back and go and sit down and start playing cards with the others as one of them continues around, but he's just like kind of moseying, taking his own time.
Okay.
We could take.
But it seems like
Is
they're
he just walking around in a circle?
Wait. Yeah,
He's walking
probably
around the circle of the room,
perimeter.
If we
Why?
can get to the group
He's
playing,
just patrolling the room everybody's in? He's not walking around the whole temple?
You don't know. He has not arrived at the door yet.
if we can get
Oh, okay.
to the group playing cards without being noticed, when he comes back around, we can have them all in the same space at once. Make it silent, and Pete can do his thing.
I can do the silence thing once in a
Oh,
while.
my thing will be better if nobody else, if none of us are over there.
Okay.
But if we could take this one out
No, I know.
silently, if we all jump this one, cover his mouth, take him out, we could take out 3 in the silence I can create. But if I use the silence here,
How
there are
about
3
if
I
it-
can't
at
put
Do
least-
we all go
if at least
invisible,
3
jump
of
that
you.
one dude, and Pete does his thing.
Yeah,
the
if
other
at least 3 of you are over there, I can keep you safe. But any more than that, I can't control the blast.
But they
I
can
know.
just go get the other guy and you go blast all them. But blast sounds loud.
It'll
It's not
also be loud, yeah.
But if you silence it,
I'm saying that if we're gonna use silence to try to keep quiet, then we should get over to the guards that are all playing cards, and when this one comes back around, they'll all be in the same area.
But is it?
y'all can go
It's
get that
fully
guy.
open in there.
Are there shadows to cling
It's
to?
like lightly obscured by the frosted glass of the hourglass.
Right, but it's just
Other than that, it's just an
an
open
empty room, right?
I
But
could,
we're just like standing inside of it, and they haven't noticed
I could
us.
become
We're
invisible.
in it? I thought we were
No,
outside of it.
you guys are still in the hallway.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we came in the room.
You were kind of like looking around into the room and then pulled back, I presumed.
I feel like
If you're just having this conversation in the room, then
Yeah.
that's a different story.
Cool that all of us stop seeing
Right,
our
but if you're
thoughts
just standing in that
together.
room, then there's a guard literally walking towards the doorway that you guys are
You
behind.
get silence. He
Okay.
blows them up. You and I go invisible and take out the other person
I can
all
go.
at the same time.
If you could cast silence
I
on
can go
those-
invisible and cast silence on them.
And
you
then I can make an
that'll
explosion
undo
in the
the invisibility.
silence and nobody will hear it.
Yes.
If
That'll
you
undo the invisibility though. The two of us go invisible, take them out, you silence that person.
How about this?
if you attack or cast something, you will not be invisible anymore.
Right.
That's fine.
Right. How about this though? So
You
we send
invisible, blow up, kill.
Pete's like, I'm already invisible. I can hand Silas the dagger. He can turn invisible too. We can mosey our way over to those guys playing cards. Leave you sneaky fuckers. He points at like Cholula and Pippin and Kyrus.
Yeah.
You sneaky fuckers.
Take that
As soon
person.
as that guy gets over here, y'all just jump him all at once and murder that bitch. Then, when we hear his struggles, or when you give us a thumbs up, we'll blow up the other guys.
That.
Deal.
I could go invisible without the dagger
Oh, perfect.
if it's
I'm already invisible.
dimly lit.
Let's do it.
Now hold hands.
That actually
You
makes
feel Pete
sense.
holding your hands. All right.
Don't put your fingernails under my nails. Are you
So
serious?
just so I know,
I
y'all
have no idea what we're about to do.
Huh?
So
Pete
the
and
plan
Silas
is,
are gonna go invisible, and they're gonna head towards the guys playing cards.
You and I
Three
do
of
nothing.
Fantastic. When I can't do anything quietly.
I know.
When the one that is
Patrolling.
gets to the door, we're all gonna
he's
surprise
gonna get
jump him.
jumped by 3 rogues at once.
Yeah.
Great.
And then once that is happening, we give them the go ahead, and Silas is going to make the card table area silent, and Pete's going to do his
Blow it
loud
up.
thing.
Alright.
And the silence.
So if the 2 of you can be ready to back us up over there, just in case the explosion doesn't take them out,
Yeah.
Is that
Leave it to
cool?
me. I'm good with that.
it'll be silent. So if you need to throw any loud things into it,
Yes?
all right.
You can't speak within it, so it can't be somatic. But you just hear a voice a little bit higher than Pete's head.
And I can just hit them from here.
Oh, Pete's also invisible.
Yeah.
So Silas, go ahead and make one more stealth check with advantage because you're invisible now.
Is pass with still in? 36.
Sweet.
Excellent. That beats all of their passive perceptions, surprisingly enough.
Except for the dragon, which you
As-
didn't check for.
As Pete and Silas quietly make their way into the chamber and, without a sound, approach the 3 guys playing cards who are just shooting the shit. And one of them is on a losing streak and he's starting to get kind of pissy.
Yeah.
A couple of moments later, the 4th guard, the one who was like initially talking, passes by and into the doorway. Upon which immediately, 3 rogues have been holding their actions.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make an attack roll with advantage. I'm going to say you're definitely flanking because at least 2 of you were on either side of the door.
So all of these rogues get sneak attack.
Fucking nat
Yeah.
20 for Pippin.
Yeah, that guy's.
Fuck.
Pippin.
Dad is fucked.
That was the first roll without advantage even. A nat 20 for Kyrus. I'm not even fucking kidding. Look, you
How dead
can.
is
Somebody
this
please
guy?
look at this.
This guy is
How dead is this
mush
guy?
on the
A little
floor.
purple.
Yeah.
Mine's just a
Holy
dirty
shit.
20.
What the
That
fuck?
that still hits
I rolled
though.
a 6 and an 8.
So
Hey, they're dry clean only, most things.
All right.
it's 3 rogues, 2 crits, all sneak attack.
Yeah. I don't think we need to roll this, but let's do it for fun.
Yeah.
It's funny, they stab him so much he disappears.
Rapier.
It's like he was never there.
Yeah.
He's vapor. I didn't know you guys knew disintegrate.
12,
Disintegrate by 1,000 blades. Oh, I just want to do like a
42.
cloud
Like
of daggers
everyone
times 3.
just does
keep
their own finishing
cloud of
move. Like
dagger.
someone gets
Yeah.
slits his neck, someone will get.
Someone's like slicing his Achilles tendons.
They're kind of showing off for each other.
Yeah.
Like, look at that. I found this artery like right between the legs.
Yeah.
And for Pippin.
The femoral
also
artery.
8.
The vasovagal, and he goes right for the stomach.
9, 10, 15, 19,
Even their hit dice are quiet.
50, 59.
The amount of math happening right now.
I can't vamp, I'm in silence.
What does he
I'm-
add to his attacks?
We have rings.
My brain
That's
is
just the
working
way.
so hard
4.
right now.
Mhm.
I have only the vaguest slivers of any concept of what might be going on here.
Am
And
I
it
explaining
feels-
it bad or?
No, it's
No, it's hard. It feels like the motor in our KitchenAid the other day is happening in here. It's just smoking.
Oh, I'm sorry. How much damage did Cholula do?
36.
6 for a total of 183 points of sneak attack
Hell
damage.
yeah.
How many hit
Yeah.
points did he have?
He had the same amount as the guys outside. He had 58.
Hell yeah.
He
Nice.
steps through the doorway, and 3 rapiers just cross in his neck, and not a sound comes out. That's like 2 from the sides and 1 from the front. As like Cholula, you like step out from the shadows and appear in his vision. Kairos and Pippin stab through the sides, and you get him through the front. And he's like goes limp, but is suspended by all of your blades. You guys like
We all
quietly.
kind of like shuffle off to the side, like,
You guys like hang on.
done.
Make a quick performance check with advantage.
I imagine you guys are like coming down the hall, like trying to squeeze past them. Gross.
I mean, we would just be staying in the hall.
Well, I'm about to step out.
Yeah.
Why are we stepping
22.
out?
22.
Clean
Working in
up any of the
tandem.
dudes that don't die.
But we can do that from within the doorway.
Yeah, maybe. No.
Why would
Yeah.
we risk it?
I mean, if you can, then yeah.
If you can reach
Sure.
it.
So
It was like
working
100
in
feet.
tandem, you like the body goes limp, and you kind of like hold it there, and all like, kind of look at each other, and Kairos kind of like goes like this, and Pippin's like nods and looks at you, Cholula, and you guys like walk his dead body into the chamber. You fucking Weekend at Bernie's this guy into the room until he's out of sight, and then slowly like lay his body down. The two of you peer in through the doorway and
Ready in action, yeah.
give a thumbs up. Get your spells ready. Silas.
I kind of just like push my hand along the wall, and like a very light amount of mist starts to encircle them, and silence is up.
Yeah.
Excellent. Pete is going to use his Sculpted Explosion. So they all need to make a dexterity saving throw. I'm going to say they do this with disadvantage because they have no idea that it's fucking coming.
I extend my hand, and as silence like completes, I become visible because I can't.
Yeah, one of them's like, hey. Or he looks up and he goes,
Yeah.
This is also
that's a natural 3.
That's like the idea of them arguing about like gambling at the same time. It's like, no, you cheated. Oh, blah, blah, blah.
No, that's a natural 3 for their saving throw.
Oh.
Nice.
For a total of, where's their stats?
Sorry, Maddie.
Here we are. For a total of 5, which fails, unfortunately.
So they're all gonna die.
8.
silence is like a legitimate nightmare of mine, and
Really?
yeah, we kind of like played with our campaign 2 characters, and someone cast silence on that character, and it was an actual nightmare
yeah.
of mine.
Oh. I feel like if you have like migraine attacks, that you would be like into that sometimes.
Yeah, but only being able to feel your heartbeat. And
You ever had-
and you're
You
just,
can hear your heartbeat?
feel. But I mean, yeah, if you're like in dead
Yeah.
silence, if you're in one of those rooms that like dampens everything, you can hear
Hear
a
it.
bit of a thump.
I can't
But not even to hear
handle-
that. Ugh.
I can't handle a single moment without external stimuli. So I've never been quiet for more than a minute.
What do Pete do?
Sorry,
I
give
think
me
math
just a
is
second.
happening.
You ever had sleep paralysis?
Yeah, a couple
Yeah.
times.
It's like that thing of trying to talk or trying to do
Yeah.
whatever, and not being able
I've
to.
had it
I
once,
hate
but it
it.
was just
Yeah.
auditory. It wasn't
Okay, so
Oh, really?
Silas, you appear. The guards look up and try to speak and realize that there's no sound coming out, and then flame erupts around you silently. It is warm, but as Pete appears standing next to you, still holding your hand, the flames are like sculpted around your two bodies. And lingers for about 6 seconds as just like this inferno goes off, and as it
Somebody please do that fan art.
right as it returns to normal, you see 3 crisp guards who are still clinging to life with severe burns, screaming silently and reaching for their weapons. Held actions are triggered.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I'm
What
gonna
are
give
those
it
actions?
a 4th level magic missile with 2 missiles on each guard.
Hell yeah.
Because you get 6. So I'm just gonna roll
Yeah.
for each 2.
Sounds good.
That is 5 points of damage for
Okay.
pick one. 5 points of damage. And 7 points of damage.
Nice. They're all still just barely hanging on. Howie.
Throw hammer. I forget, for held action, do I still get both attacks or is only one then?
Just one, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sucks. Probably should have done something else. Oh well. Yeah. Just gonna throw it at one of them.
Okay.
And it's going to be the what's it called?
Sharpshooter?
Sharpshooter.
Sharpshooter,
Yeah,
gotcha.
Sharpshooter as well. So that'd be 21,
21 hits for sure.
Nice.
and that is. Oh, it's D8 plus 8, right? Okay. 23 damage.
All right, that guy goes down. There's 2 left. I need everybody to roll initiative.
24. Oh, sorry.
Wow, nat 20 on their initiative roll.
Good
Neat.
lord. Oh no. Oh no.
Cholula 24.
Yes.
Anybody get higher than a 22?
22.
22? Okay, your dex is better, so that's Silas.
Should have
Fuck yes.
bombed them a second time.
Guards. Pete.
Meat pizza.
Ooh, damn, Pete. Okay.
When else am I gonna use these? for
Dirty
anything
20
but
for
that, you know?
Pete.
Nice.
Or like, basically.
The Knesset stuff.
Um,
Dirty 20.
dirty 20 for
Yeah.
Alma. What is
Casters
your
with high initiative?
what is your dex score?
3.
+3?
Uh-huh.
Okay. That's higher than Pete, so you'll go first.
Interesting.
Wow. I should have known better than to not roll for the rogues first. 29 for Pippin,
Wow.
because he is also alert. And Kyrus, not as wild, 14.
Oh, that's so low.
That's what I like about those Trello cards. It's like everyone who's in the scene, you're just like, okay, you're up there, you're up there, you're up there, you're up
Yeah.
there.
Howie, what'd you get?
10.
10? Nice. All right. Up first, now that that surprise round is over, is actually Pippin.
Yep, yeah.
What?
You don't keep
Pippin?
him.
You should be
Um,
ashamed of yourself.
Pippin is
Oh,
going
10.
to. I don't think he can shift anymore. No, he cannot. So he's just going to use his regular movement speed to rush in there. And
Immediate layer.
he's going to use his bonus action to dash, because he can. Gets him 60 feet. He'll use his action as well to dash, which gets him up to the people, but that's all that he can do this round from across the room. Cholula.
The guards, they were sitting at a table, yeah? Playing cards?
Yes.
Are they within each other's space?
Mm-hmm.
They're also within melee range of Silas and Pippin.
How far away am I from them and the doorway?
100 feet. They're like
Okay.
on the opposite side of the chamber. That's why Pippin had to just bust through all of his stuff to move,
Yeah.
because he doesn't have. Oh, he does have a ranged weapon, but I forgot about it. So here we are.
I would like to use my. I'm shifted. So 40 feet, and then if I could bonus action to dash,
Absolutely.
and then I would like to cast Cloud of Daggers on the table.
Fuck yeah. That's a. Is there a saving throw, or does that just happen?
It just
I
happens.
think it just happens.
Yeah.
That's why it's your least
I think
favorite
it does.
thing.
Yeah.
They can't stay in this space.
So-
So I do 4
Well, they-
It's a
D4?
saving
If you-
throw or something, right?
When
I don't
you
think so.
Enter
Really?
it,
I think
when
it
you
just
enter
happens.
it or start your turn in it, but you can't leave it without starting your turn in it.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're definitely going to get two
2 rounds of the
out of
damage.
it.
Oh damn.
Oh, 8, 12, 14 points of slashing damage for the men in the cloud.
14, you said?
Yes.
They both die.
Hell yeah!
Pippin like skids to a halt. He's like breathing heavily, and he's like, "Oh."
And I remove
You
the
guys
daggers.
have, yeah. We'll drop combat there, and as you guys have eliminated all of the guards in this room silently, we're gonna go ahead and take a quick break. Don't go away. We'll be right back to explore more of the Temple of the Lost God. We'll be back in 10 minutes.
The line of monstrous bandits advance towards you. You hear creaking coming from the woods, when suddenly, belching out from the forest, the dire tree. You're up first.
I cast Fireball.
That's all of them. Roll damage.
All 6s.
Booyah!
All right, you're next.
I cast Cone of Cold. It says AD8 right here. 64 points of damage.
I cast lightning bolt.
That's all right with me.
You just did that.
Radiates this like golden energy, and I cast shield.
He looks down in sorrow, and then turns a fiery gaze to the rest of you. And that's where we're gonna end tonight's episode.
You mother.
I'm Cork.
Nice.
Cool.
Give him the official herald salute, Arcana crew.
Was that gonna be the answer no matter what?
Yes.
Okay.
And very quickly, my head just turns. It's almost like someone called me, and I look back at you and I give you one last wave and one little sad look, before blowing you a kiss and waving goodbye.
She goes, hot damn, mama. And I'm going to slap her on the ass, and then I'm going to whip around behind.
We have an unboxing to do. This was sent to us by a wonderful viewer of the show who's been with us from the very beginning, I believe.
Yeah.
In this package, there are gifts for all of you, as well as candy to share.
I already prepped.
Okay.
Whoa!
Hooray.
The end of it now, you're coming to the other side. I need everybody to make one more constitution. And makes it over to this pillar.
Also, Cameron, this map looks amazing.
Right?
If I can throw that out.
I built it with my own 2 hands.
What about that other hand? What was it?
It watched. Stay safe out there, adventurers.
Listen, I can only catch the.
Welcome back. We continue in the Temple of the Lost God, as you guys have just eliminated another 4 people from the Earth, and find yourselves in a room with a very large hourglass with the sand flowing upwards in a very eerie fashion.
I'm gonna step inside the silence and just like laugh and point at the cards.
Yeah, Pete joins you. He turns around. He's like slapping his ass at him.
I would like to search for anything Black Rain related on these guys.
Yeah.
Make an investigation
If
check.
they have any masks or anything on them.
Can I
Yeah, if
just give Cholula advantage to that?
Yeah, absolutely.
How was your investigation?
1.
Okay, mine's 2. I'll do it.
We should,
Let Howie do it.
oh, what? No. I mean, that's fine.
Do you have a thing?
It's too late.
What?
I'm not proficient in it yet.
I'll like elbow Pete and like kind of point at you guys like searching the bodies. Stop. Whoa, 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 whoa.
7.
So we
7?
know the first half of the phrase, but not the second half. So we should say the first half to somebody. Right?
Howie has a very clever idea. As Cholula, you're gonna go through the pockets. These guys are like charred and burned to a crisp. Everything that they had on them is gone. You backtrack over to the other guy's body that you've kind of like tucked away in the corridor of whispers, the hall of echoing whispers. And going through his pockets, you find 4 drawings.
Oh.
One of each of you.
Yeah.
Does he
There's
happen
also,
to
actually,
have-
sorry, you find 5 drawings. One of each of you and one of Genevieve.
Okay.
Does he happen to have written on his hand the other half of the passphrase?
No,
If
not on,
someone says-
not on a 7 investigation check, unfortunately. But you do find pictures of yourselves, pictures of the Mistwalkers, basically.
How do they look?
Well drawn. They resemble you.
Howie, is there a way that you could use that one spell to figure out who did these drawings?
I'll drop the silence. Pieces.
Oh, sorry, you didn't warn me.
I elbowed you.
I was having a good time.
I know.
I'll have it equipped right now.
Whatever. He pulls out the dagger and goes invisible again.
God.
I don't think I could do it
How
right now.
bad it would smell if you don't have your other senses.
Maybe later?
Maybe tomorrow?
Okay. I'll pack the drawings up. I mean,
Okay.
I'll like show everyone what I found, but
Yeah, you do so.
Do you guys think, before we move on, they mentioned the hawk and the wizened one?
The falcon.
The falcon. The bird.
Hawk Falcon.
Hawk, Falcon, and the Wizened One was my favorite book as a kid.
So sad.
They said that things have shifted overseas. I would wager a guess that the 2 that they were talking about could be Horace and Kendry. If we have an idea, I might be able to catch them in that.
What?
If we have an idea?
If we can think of something that I would say to them, perhaps as one of their guards here or an archaeologist, I could reach out to Horace under a guise of somebody else to find out whether or not those identities are correct.
We should mix that with Howie's plan of the passphrase.
What?
Do you know, like, the thaumaturgy cantrip? I don't know if it would work with sending, but you could potentially change the way your voice sounds.
I was planning on just kind of working on that.
It's kind of a mental thing, so I guess if you
Right,
could
so
just
yeah.
imagine... Oh, shit, this raises a lot of questions that I have about the spark and how it works.
So if you could just imagine the god at the front,
Because if sending is
does he
mental,
look like a cinder?
you just imagine someone else's voice, does it sound like that?
Somebody.
I guess if maybe you do like a history check or something, or performance
you- I think
to like
it's-
recall
I think
it
performance-
well enough.
Yeah, I think performance
Can you
will be
hear
for
the
the
voice in your head or whatever?
Yeah.
Like, does it have a sound? Can you change that sound?
I can.
Oh, okay.
I think that's why I can do accents, is because I can just hear them.
Interesting.
So, I know we can't figure out where they got these drawings right now, but do we think that Horace and Kendry are, they know what we're doing? That they're on to us?
I'm suspicious of that.
It doesn't matter, we're here. We get to interpret the tablets now.
Right, but possibly if we can figure out what it is that they're trying to subdue us for, we might have an easier time getting through this temple.
Well, let's meet this Brimlock so you can use that voice. What was it? Something Lock? Johnny Lock? Randall?
Why Grimlock?
You talking about General Dorian Brimlock and Wingfell?
There's someone here that has...
Oh, Zephyr Lockwood. Not Zephyr. What is it? Something Lockwood.
That seems like a high enough...
Seraph.
That seems like a high enough ranking person at this site that would talk to them.
Have you ever heard them talk before?
We can
But
soon.
also, can they do that? Like, wouldn't if someone just starts talking their head out of
I was
nowhere?
just going to try and put on the air of a vague guard or a general archaeologist lady who might say something like, when the first drop falls?
Yes, when the first drop falls.
What did that?
And then be like, is this the hawk? The falcon? The falcon.
What did that guard say? Something about Celestia. He was talking about some experts from somewhere. Kairos is like, Celestia Arcanum? It's the magic school in Gold Run. It's in the Stratus district. It sounds like maybe at least that one guard who sounded like kind of an idiot. He said something about needing the experts from the Celestial Arcanum to read something. Maybe they would have the ability to cast magics.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That could be an identity you could assume, perhaps.
Yeah.
Just be like, hey, it's...
That makes sense to me.
You just be like, hey, I'm here on behalf of the Celestial Arcanum, the rainfalls or whatever.
That sounds
Do
good.
you think it's worth it?
I'm real
for
good
me-
at starting ideas.
Yeah, as long as you don't give away our position.
Right.
The end.
What do they need to translate?
We don't know that.
Probably another.
Oh, what different?
What?
Your mic.
Oh my goodness.
Probably like the tablets, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we try to keep moving and find the tablets first? And read what needs to be read?
Yeah, let's just keep going for now.
If they need to be translated still,
We should be able to do that the way we've been doing the other thing.
right, I understand, but if they're calling in the Celestial Arcana in order to translate them, there's no reason that I need to have that right now before I reach out.
Right, but if something goes wrong when we do reach out, we don't want to not have been able to find what we're
And
looking
then
for.
contact the other guards here.
Right. Okay. Let's
So
see.
we
if
need to
can
know. Yeah,
find
we need
that
to know
out.
what else is in here.
All right. Who's leading the way?
I would like to be in a sandwich. I'd like to be in a strong sandwich.
All right. Pippin's gonna take Pippin. Pete is gonna take the rear,
Nice.
followed by Pippin and probably Alma.
Kairos, you've been in here before.
Yeah.
Yes? Do you know where these tablets are?
Probably. I think there's like. I don't know. I didn't get very far to see like tablets. I made it into the next room, and that's where the alarm got raised and we got chased out.
What sort of alarm? They just
But,
saw
like,
you
people
and
yelling,
started yelling?
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's just try to keep being quiet and see what's in there.
If things go sour, get out. They did say that they want to capture the ones drawn and kill anyone else.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, if we need a quick way out, he kind of like motions up towards the ceiling. You can see that there is like a fissure that has not been repaired on the ceiling of this chamber, and there's a little bit of light coming in. Because of the position of the sun, it's more like lighting behind where you came in. But you see that there is an exit at least to the top of the plateau within this room if you can get up the like 30 feet to the top.
Okay.
Or no, it would be more than that, like 50 feet.
Okay.
I could, if we have to, I can get up there with your endless rope and hand it off to Bodan so that everybody else can climb up.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Right. I'll take the lead.
Okay.
Peek into the next room.
All right. You get up to these large doors, which appear to be made from bronze, and you first make an investigation check.
Okay. God fucking damn it. Investigation every time. 4.
4. Okay. You're not sure if it's a push or a pull.
Classic.
you give it a little bit of a push.
Or if it's
doesn't
gas
budge.
station locked, like one's locked for some fucking reason.
Yeah.
Every time.
Give it a push, doesn't budge. Give it a pull, it's locked.
Okay, I'd like to unlock it.
Yeah, go ahead and try.
Okay.
If you had rolled over a 2, maybe you could have just opened the door.
That just thumped
luckily-
right down.
It's
Yeah, it doesn't really
these
come at it
tools,
sideways.
So that doesn't matter.
Get them all out now.
21.
No.
21. 21 is enough. You manage to take the tines from your whisk and fit them into the lock, twist them around over your shoulder. Kairos is like, nice. That's a good way of hiding those.
Nice.
And you manage to get the door unlocked and pull it open. Looking through, peering into the next chamber, you see a serene room with white and azure tiles along the floor and a few feet up the walls as well. It's kind of like curves up. At the center of the room is a shallow pool of still water that almost perfectly reflects the surrounding room and the mosaic symbol of the 3 eyes on the ceiling above. The back left portion of the chamber is partially collapsed, and you can see that a few chunks of the marbled stone have toppled into the shallow pool at some point, but it wasn't by any means recent based on the fact that the pool is that still and calm.
Can I see any people in there reflected in the waters or anything?
No, you don't see, and like it's another circular chamber, so you've got full range of view of like as you kind of like peer around. You don't see anyone in the chamber. You also don't see an exit to the chamber or like any hallways leading further on.
Okay. It looks empty. And I'm gonna go in.
Okay, stepping inside. There's not a lot of like artifacts in this space. It's just this like really nice clean tile that you can tell a lot of it has been like brushed off and cleaned up by archaeologists coming through. You see a few stakes with little flags that are that same kind of like green and yellow the same kind of split 2 greens stuck into the stones that have collapsed on the other side. It seems like this is still kind of like being excavated.
Okay. Does the water seem natural?
Yeah, stepping forward, it's very clear. It's like very reflective, but you can also see directly through it to the tile beneath. It's maybe like 4 or 5 feet deep. And as you look into it, you see the reflections of the room around you, and they seem to like mist and shift. And you see a depiction of an old dining hall with a table full of people dressed in wealthy, like nobles' clothing that are all slumped over plates, some with food still hanging out of their mouths. A familiar scene. Shifts again.
That time.
I was there once.
It shifts again, and you see shimmering piles of stones, an image of a strange Triton figure that splits into several possibilities that seem to overlap. There's one pleading, one lashing out in anger, one bleeding out, other ghostly forms that are harder to see that spread out seemingly infinitely before you kind of like snap back to your senses and look down, and it's just the still pool.
This is weird. Weird. want
Can I look into it?
Yeah, Alma, you peer into it. You see a decrepit house with bits of mold peeking out from under fresh paint and rotted wooden floorboards. You see Silas absolutely hammered, about like a good 50 pounds heavier as well. Before that shimmers and fades to a small nook at the yawning portal where you used to go and sit and read different books of poetry.
What happens if I stick a pinky in the water?
You stick your pinky in the water, and you once again see what Cholula saw, but I don't think described. You see this like marbled stone that shimmers and like wavers, and then you see a Triton figure with these long, like tendril-like ears. One of them has like several rips through it, elongated fish-like mouth, and it's very, very much akin to like the effects of the Matrix. Whenever the agents are like dodging bullets, where it's just like multiple shadowy, not shadowy, but translucent figures of things happening, kind of all exploding out from a central point. Like you're seeing different possibilities of things that might happen or could happen.
Does this Triton look familiar?
Make an insight check.
29. Yay!
29. The figure itself does not look familiar at all. They do not seem. This is not a Triton that you've seen. You think back to your days in Altanan. You think back to. Oh, that's right. You were dead.
I was dead.
Sam was there.
You haven't even really met many Tritons outside of the few that you met in Chillrun that were part of the Children of Mist who came from Altanan.
Yeah.
This one doesn't look familiar, but something about the rips in that like ear-like tendril reminds you of Kendry, the half-elf with the chunk of ear missing.
Could I see the water?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone look in the water.
Yeah, each of you, as you kind of like peer into the pool, you see reflected visions of your past, visions of things that happened to you recently. You all see the shimmering stones. You all see the Triton.
Does this room have a symmetry to it, both vertically, like X and Y axis?
Kind of. It's kind of like a tri-symmetry. So like the way that the eyes connect,
Right.
Coming out from each of them, there are like thirds that kind of reflect each other.
Do I get the impression
tile
that
patterns.
the water is the past and that elsewhere could be the future?
Potentially.
I would like to maybe also touch the water and see if I feel like the Triton can also see me.
Yeah, you do so. Make an insight check.
I'm gonna like trace these symmetry lines from the eyes.
16?
You feel more like you're being shown a vision of a number of potential futures where in that moment the Triton does see you. But in this moment, you don't think that there is a connection. You think it's more that the pool is showing you something that could happen, and less that the pool is showing you to someone.
Are any of y'all seeing this Triton in here?
I don't think I stayed long enough.
Is there any chance that Kendry and Horace are shape changers of some kind?
Likely.
Definitely.
So
It's
is
possible these changelings.
disguising themselves.
Yep.
Do I see any text laying around?
No text in this room, no.
I'm gonna check out
Only
the new discover where the flags are.
Yeah, make an investigation check.
Okay.
Now you've got like investigative equipment, right?
Yeah, I've got some. Still working on that.
Can you see if there's like a secret exit from this room?
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20, nice.
Do I? Is there a?
Yeah, if you'd like to roll another investigation check. The two of you kind of work in tandem. 16, nice. Yeah, the two of you are kind of like looking around. Silas, you approach the stones. Howie, it strikes you as odd. This appears to be the final chamber of the temple, but you haven't, aside from these little flags, you haven't come across any digging or archaeological equipment. Kind of like feel around the walls of the chamber, and eventually you come to the area where Silas is. Silas, there's one particular section of the stone that doesn't feel quite right. You kind of like move your hand around and press your hand gently to the stone, and there's give, like it's like a hardened sponge. And you press more firmly, and the resistance gives way, and your hand passes through the stone, warping its visage slightly.
Look here. And I'm gonna like, can I get like into it?
Yeah, you like move your hand, it is within it, you move it through. It doesn't move out of the way, but it moves like around, like you have passed through until you reach a part of stone that is still there. And kind of like moving your hand around, there's about a doorway-sized portion of this collapsed stone that appears to be an illusion.
There's like 20 guys on the other side. Just
Yeah.
And your hand comes off.
on the other side. Yeah. I think this, and I'm gonna like kind of like step into it to where like my waist is maybe covered by a bit of this stone. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not harmed.
Pete walks over and sticks his face through.
Yeah, I'll like dip down to see if I can look through this
Yeah.
doorway.
Each of you looking through, you see another small corridor that seems to lead down. It's a lot more rough-hewn, like less uncovered, but it leads down to another doorway at the end of the hall.
I'll just like stick my hand out like, this way, methinks, unless you're gonna play in the pool.
Yeah. All right. You guys press through the illusion and into the hallway.
11 o'clock. This way. You have to go to our other Twitch channel where you can see my hand.
Silas, as you continue forward, kind of like making your way through the rough-hewn wall, and there's still like these tiled floors in this area that dirt is just kind of like pressed up against the sides, like someone did a bad job of sweeping. And continuing through, you take a step and you feel as one of the stones shifts a little under your foot. And I need everyone to make a dexterity saving throw.
Fun. 26.
Nice. Pippin got a 22. Kyrus got an 18.
And 17.
17.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Pete got a 15.
18.
18 for Cholula. All right. Who got over a 22? Everyone else fails.
Yikes!
Woof. Oh, I guess I should roll one for
Hey.
Hank.
Honk.
Oh,
I don't
Honk.
think
how'd you do that?
Honk honk.
that. Nope.
Nope.
Only if you rolled a nat 20, I think you pass it, but that's it.
Yeah.
Womp.
Sorry, honk.
Honk, honk.
Sorry, doing some math.
Don't worry. Math is hard. Especially when you're using it to harm your friends. And wife. And sister. Different people.
I don't think you get the fan anymore.
Silas, you feel it press down, and you instinctively, you hear gears clicking and something turning. You instinctively roll out of the way. the rest of you go to do so as well, seeing Silas rush forward. You manage to get to the end of the hallway before the door as you see this burning, viscous black liquid is just poured from these chutes at the ceiling of the chamber and coats all the rest of you. You all take 54 points of acid damage as it pours down over you.
Do you have to?
27.
54.
Oh yeah, if you have evasion.
Yeah.
Oh shit, did the Pippin... Yeah, Pippin
Yeah.
and Kyrus both have evasion. Pete does not. Let me mark this down for all of those guys as well.
Hearing the gears clicking and then instinctively rolling out of the way, very Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. The penitent man
You're
shall
having
pass.
the best time of your life. There's a child in you that's just like, yes, 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 yes.
Finally, all those
a trap? Hell yeah.
all those days wearing my dad's cowboy hat and whipping trees with a jump rope have come to fruition. And look, you can come at me for like how Indiana Jones is portrayed, and yeah, he might have dated a 17-year-old. That was his
I
like.
think that's the part
It's,
most
that's,
upsetting.
that's, but also, I was a kid, and I wasn't like, yeah, do that. I was just a kid who was aspiring to be a handsome dude with a gun and a sword and sometimes a whip. I wasn't thinking about all that, and it doesn't make me
I like
a
that
worse
it's
person
sometimes a whip,
for
not
liking.
sometimes a gun. You know?
Yeah, it depends on if Harrison Ford has the flu.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to account for everyone's hit points. So you see as the acid washes over and hits the tile and then seeps between the cracks of the tiles, which you can now see there are like minute little openings as it sinks in and presumably resets the trap.
There's a trap there.
Yeah,
You
That wasn't. I mean, I didn't know I was going to be moving forward. In my defense, I kind of just indicated that there was a door over here.
Were there any other tiles that moved when you ran out of the way?
Fuck if I know. I'm gonna like look around for anything that looks like
Yeah, make
a
an
tile.
investigation check.
No. I picked you up and I didn't feel it, so this is gonna be a 1. Ka-chow! It's a 7. It's a 10.
10. You're having a hard time even pinpointing which one was the one you stepped on.
I rolled and I forgot, so just be cool.
Can I tell by looking if there are differences in other tiles?
You can make an investigation check as well, and do it with advantage as Pippin helps you.
Okay.
I'm gonna break out my umbrella. Just fold it over my head. It's a good umbrella, okay? I want to see you
19.
pantomiming burning.
19. You do manage to find the one that Silas stepped on. You can tell that it's just slightly raised above the others around it. You have located it, but you have not dismantled it. Anybody good at taking mechanical things apart safely?
I mean, can we just
Why don't
go
we
over
just avoid it?
Oh yeah, we could just avoid it.
How
I
big
guess.
is the tile?
It's big enough that you could step over it easily.
Okay. You know, sometimes floors are divided into like quarters instead
Yeah.
of like
Yeah.
thousands.
Pippin's gonna take.
It's a big
Or no.
Solomon board.
Well, yeah, Howie has those.
That's what.
Kyrus's stuff.
I have Kyrus' stuff?
You at least have his ball bearings.
Ball bearings, yeah. I took ball bearings.
No, I thought I had you.
Yeah, we gave everything back.
Except
I don't think you gave those back.
No,
Yeah.
I was just throwing shit at
Pippin is just gonna take some kindling out of his tinderbox and like gently sprinkle it around that one. Like, don't step on this plate.
Okay.
And he'll step over it.
I'm still just panicked looking at other like plates.
And having marked it, there don't appear, nobody else steps on anything that sinks through the remainder of the hallway. So yeah, no rolls required to step over that since it is marked as you guys make your way to the end of the hall to a closed door.
Whee!
Checking it, this one also appears to be locked.
And this is just another like an antechamber outside of that, the one that we were just in. It doesn't have anything decorative.
No, this is just like a little through corridor.
I guess press on.
Yeah, if I'm
So-
in front, I'll unlock this door also.
Yeah, go ahead and make a Thieves' Tools check.
I'm gonna close my umbrella and kind of like scrape the ground with it, so if it feels a raise, hopefully stop.
Yeah, for sure.
21.
21 is more than enough. You
It
manage
is
to
locked. Oh.
unlock the door, and it like gently opens, and you see a large rectangular chamber before you, in which there are 12 stone obelisks that are positioned equidistant from one another, each made from slick obsidian carved with a series of hieroglyphics accompanying the now familiar ancient Harshan script. The stone monoliths stand 15 feet high each, with script and symbols wrapping around them from top to bottom. I need all of you to make a stealth check.
Okay. Is Pass Without a Trace still up? How long does that last?
It lasts an hour,
Okay.
so yes.
No.
Right, I keep forgetting I'm 3 people.
Oh, the most natural of 20s, making it 40.
Hell
in,
yeah.
In case you needed to know.
21, 31 for Pippin.
What is your stealth? Damn.
Damn,
I thought
Kyrus.
plus 10 was good.
It is good.
17?
I have expertise.
Yeah. Well, if I had plus 17, plus 10, plus 10.
43 for Kyrus.
Nice.
And for Pippin, not
So
Pippin,
it's-
Pete. Or
Pete.
Pippin. 18.
37. Can I, is it too late for me to restore balance so that Alma doesn't have to do a disadvantage?
You haven't said.
I'm
what
going
it
to say
was.
yes because she already rolled
Okay.
with disadvantage. So we got 37 plus
I keep forgetting until it happens.
It's
2
always.
plus Pete's 18. Silas, what did you get again?
40.
40.
Natural 20.
Nice.
Howie rolled 23. Hank rolled natural 1.
I also
What's the
rolled
total?
Total would be 12.
12.
a natural one.
For a total of
Jeez.
Altogether
13?
it would be 14.
14. Excellent. And there are 7 of you.
But it is worth mentioning that I did roll a natural one,
You both
True.
did.
so I have to
In
do
this-
the thing.
No.
Oh, right. Both of you
Howie.
have to do a thing.
No.
No, Howie.
Oh, it was Hank,
Or
not Howie.
Hank, yeah, sorry. not
Let's do
Howie.
it for Hank. Excellent. Alma,
We can start gift.
Yeah.
Alma, however,
We never
does need
asked.
to
Should I
make a
roll my
roll.
d6?
Maybe
Yes.
he does and he just can't talk about it.
Do you know the robot dog from
5?
Wallace and Gromit?
Yeah.
Didn't
I
we
get,
just
like,
talk about how it's always
The demeanor,
5?
maybe not the dog, but you know what I
You
mean?
can watch that again. It's fine.
No, it's always 4.
Yeah, it's usually 4.
5 is bad.
Could have been worse.
I disagree.
Oh, until the start of your next turn.
Yeah.
So for 6 seconds after
oh yeah, I guess that we're not
stepping,
in combat.
yeah,
so.
after like sneaking into the room, Alma like freezes and doesn't like can't move. Alma, you're overwhelmed with
Clattering.
memories. You're overwhelmed with memories of your time in Demontlieu, seeing it again in the pool. Brought up a lot of things that you've been trying to kind of push down, but eventually you come back to your senses and like kind of tuck behind one of the obelisks as you all climb in, and even with those 2 natural ones amongst your group, still a DC of like 30 to notice you.
The high 30s and 40s in that group really helped.
Yeah, always bring 3 rogues with you if you're going on a stealth mission. Excellent. 4 figures stand within the chamber, gathered around one of the 12 stone spires. You see 2 humans, 1 man and 1 woman, wearing common explorer's robes and poring over a thick tome that's floating before them. The third is a burly half-elf man wearing heavy plate armor with a maul dangling from a leather strap in his gauntleted fist. And the 4th and final figure is a tall feminine triton with scaly skin striped with a similar red and black to the stones of the plateau. In place of the hair, frilled spines jut out from her head like a lionfish. Each of the figures wears a tabard over their clothing, dark green on one side and lighter sage green on the other, with the winged compass symbol of the Archaeological Guild on their backs.
Is this the same Triton from the water
Picture
vision?
show?
Yes.
Are they speaking?
No. It's fucking weird. For like 20 minutes, we all just sat there.
Yeah. The two wizards are wizards. The two obviously wizards
Whoops.
poring over a floating book in front of them.
Yeah.
I don't feel bad about that one.
Maybe his rage was making me fucking.
They're they're actually surprised barbarians.
Threatened it into staying.
I can read! You better fucking stay where I leave you.
Both of them.
They're conversing in terms that a lot of you don't really understand. There's a lot of like arcana, mumbo jumbo, how you probably pick up on some of it. Most of it seems to be linguistic in origin, as they seem to be discussing different variations on translations. They talk about like, well, this lilt in particular makes the arsh sound, and then they like flip a couple of pages and they're going through all of the different things that they've sort of compiled thus far as they seem to be trying to figure out what this language means. The half-elven man approaches the Triton and steps up to her, and he's just like, well, we haven't had any reports yet from further in, but we seem to, without a doubt, think that they will be headed here at any moment. We're not sure if the happenings in Craghold Penitentiary are related for any reason, but based on what we've heard from the Archaeological Guild, those matching the descriptions that you gave us did approach them with attempting to gain entry to the site. We've already set in place plans to block it, and a letter will be sent to, kind of like takes out a scroll and rolls through it, and he's like, Pete's General Goods in Goldbun, letting them know that they are not to gain entry. That's where it stands at the moment. And the Triton kind of like chuckles. That's probably not going to stop them, but I have a feeling they're going to turn up here. Probably in the next couple of days. Stay vigilant. She kind of like nods, and he nods back.
Was that voice familiar?
It sounds like.
It's certainly Kendry's voice. The voice is not disguised. What are you guys up to?
Like half expected Pete to go, Pete.
How can I help you?
Beautiful.
What else is in
All
this
of us.
room from where we're at? From what we can see, what else is in this room? Besides floating book and group of people.
There are 12 stone obelisks of like obsidian, polished obsidian. 12 of them that fill the space.
But they're concerned with the book and not the. I assume the stone objects
So,
are the tablets.
Let me be more specific. 2 of them are going over a book standing next to a tablet,
Okay.
and they seem to be trying to decipher it.
Okay.
They're like trying to translate it.
So the tablets are the obelisks.
Yes.
Okay, these are not transportable.
No, they're quite large.
Great.
You haven't met us. I'm gonna go into the ring and say we need the book. But I don't know, there's a part of like this is the Taylor now.
At this point, I should say also, they're the obelisk that they're standing at is sort of like central on the far side of the room. You guys are a good probably 70 feet from where all of this is taking place, kind of like tucking behind other obelisks.
So what are the other 2 doing?
The Triton, presumed to be Kendry, is looking over the obelisk. Just seems to be kind of like taking it in. The burly half-elf kind of delivers that message and steps over to a small wooden seat that's been set up in the chamber, and sits down and takes his glaive and kind of like lays it across, not glaive, did I say maul? Yes. Takes his maul and like a little bit of, I don't remember what it's called. It's like a little piece of stone, basically. And it's kind of like sharpening the individual edges of the maul.
Okay.
Is there anything about this room that seems off just from being in it? Like, does it feel like... no, they are using magic in here, so I know that's fine. Mm-hmm. There doesn't seem to be any other effect over us or anything like that. Like, we haven't wandered into a trap.
It doesn't feel like it, no.
Okay.
You haven't, like... in the meta sense, you, like, in-game sense, you haven't, like, felt any strange pressures or anything.
Right.
Meta sense, you haven't made any, like, saving throws or anything like that.
Yeah.
So there's nothing currently about the space that is affecting you.
Yeah.
Should we ambush them? How many? There's 4 of them.
Do they
Or talk to them.
seem
Or,
like...
well, I would like to... if we are going to fight, I would like to tie them up and figure out what is going on.
And we just need one, right?
Probably Kendry.
Probably Kendry.
Maybe that's exactly what they want.
Do either of these people... Do any of these people look like they could be Horus?
Make an insight check.
Good call.
Should we try to take the book first?
23.
Or
23.
attack first?
We don't really need the book, right? They're just translating from it? Aren't they using the book to help translate?
If we take them out, can't you just touch it and tell us what it says, like you've been doing?
Yeah.
Look at these fucking amateurs using books and shit. Bunch of nerds.
Well, there's 2 of us for each one of them except for one of them, right?
Are
Alma,
any of them... Oh, sorry.
looking over the group, none of these people carries themselves in a similar fashion to Horus, and like the closest one in like structure, body structure, would be one of the 2 that's poring over the book, but the male.
But
figure.
it doesn't seem right.
No, he's definitely not using like the same accent voice.
Right?
No glasses.
No glasses.
There's just like something that feels off here. Could one presume that possibly the reason that Kendry is here and Horus isn't is that Horus is more important somehow to this organization? Like he has a weird title and all that shit.
Make an insight check with disadvantage.
Okay. I accept these terms and conditions. 13.
13 is not bad.
At level 17, it does feel kind of bad.
Right? Anything
Less than 20, I'm like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? I'm good at that.
between 10 and 15 is like,
This is not a crazy DC. So, based on the last guards that you heard conversing, which I will pull up to remind myself what they were saying.
Thank you.
I have a weird idea.
Let's get weird about it.
Like, it sounds like they're
So
waiting
it
for
sounds
us.
like they were expecting you.
Right. They have little drawings of us.
The Falcon and the Wizened One. He stated that the Wizened One has already arrived at the Chamber of Prophecy. That appears to be where you
Right.
currently are. That must be referring to Kendry, which means that Horus would be the Falcon, most likely.
Uh-huh.
Things have shifted overseas and they moved up the timetable. That could be in Windfell, in Waterdeep, or Fort Hornwood.
Grimdall?
That could be Grimdall. The king of Grimdall recently was murdered. That's also overseas. That could be related somehow as well. And if it is, one could presume that if Horus and Kendry were involved with that, that could be where Horus is. And why Kendry is here alone.
So I have to touch a surface to comprehend the language. What if you have like another hand and I wear the helmet? Would that work? Like if you missed hand, if you're wearing this and you touch it with that, does that count? Or does it have to be your physical hand?
I don't know. I'm not sure if my mist hand can be a surrogate for my senses.
Are they reading aloud? Trying to translate this?
Yeah, it's very slow going though. They're not like going over things that they have already translated, they seem to just be like, mostly when they speak, they're conversing and arguing about like,
Pronunciation.
yeah, like I think that this one, like because of this particular curve or like this dash means that this R should be rolled, and if the R is rolled, then we think that that means that it's more like this word than this word.
Yeah.
And they're just kind of like having a nerd conversation about linguistics.
Okay.
But it's not something that you can really parse a lot of information from, not being trained in that skill set.
Does this group of people seem more significantly more formidable than the guards that we've been running through up until this point?
I'd say no roll required. The two with the book, potentially. They seem to be casters of some sort. You know at least that Kendry can cast the sending spell, because she's done that once before, and she can change her form somehow. The half-elf is very, very burly looking and has a wicked fucking maul that he's caressing, basically, and lovingly sharpening. They seem more formidable than the simple guards that
How
have
do you
just been
sharpen
around.
a ball?
So there's like little tines that come out. He's doing each of them individually.
I'm thinking of Morning Stars again.
You have to be very careful not to slice your finger on the other ones that you've sharpened as you rotate it around, though.
Yeah.
How does sending work? Do you have to talk?
Not out loud.
You have to use your hands?
I can make myself not do that.
So we don't have a way to restrain her so that she can't send a message to Horace wherever he is.
Do we know if Kendry is a wizard or...
Nope.
You know.
And to cast it, they have to talk, though, right?
If she and I are different, and we can restrain her, then she can't cast anything. Most things.
What if you make it silent around her? Can't technically use material or verbal components if you're silenced.
But if sending doesn't require verbal components, then...
Shit, that could fuck up all of those casters if they can't talk.
Or we
Are
cut
you
her
still
hands
able
off.
to do that?
I think so.
Oh. You said every once in a while, so I wasn't sure.
I'm just trying not to use numbers. I like to put limits on things, you know?
They might let us just read it without a fight, too.
There's
They
also,
do seem to
there's
be
also
waiting
the
for us.
potential that we just maybe wait for them to like fall asleep or leave, go somewhere else, and then we just sneak in and take it and get out through the fissure in the last chamber.
I have a feeling if they fall asleep or leave, somebody else is gonna...
Oh, yeah.
show up.
They said capture the ones drawn and kill the others. So I can't imagine it's going to bode well for anyone
Well, yeah, it seems
unless we
like-
eliminate the threat.
Well, it seems like y'all are tied to the prophecy and they need you around for some reason. The
Or
rest
we
of us
just
are just
wait
extras.
it out. Sit here until they realize that that we're not going to show up.
Right.
Or realize that we're already here.
Does nobody can do the, what did you call it? Thaumaturgy?
No.
To make, noise in the other room, so maybe they go to check on the other guards? Or do you think they would just be like, they must be here, and then they keep standing here waiting?
Well, I can't do that, but I could have Bodon make noise on the roof.
Oh, yeah.
I've got those cards still. Can throw one in the other room.
Do they make sound?
Yeah.
Oh, they do?
Yeah. No, they're full-on illusions, unless
Wow.
you can divine it or touch it.
Maybe we could just, backs to the wall on either side of the door and see if we can lure them out of the room without seeing us, and then we can go back in?
Or just, we jump them. 2 or 3 on the big guy and the rest one-on-one.
I don't know, some of us couldn't get out of the way of the trap that you set off, and we aren't in as good a shape as we were at the beginning of this temple.
I mean, who's
You
doing
have to pace
especially
yourself.
bad?
You don't know how big this temple is.
I'm fine.
I'm fine.
You're the one
I'm the one who what?
who set off the trap?
I motioned that the trap was there, and then somehow I was walking forward and stepped on the trap.
Are
But
they
yes,
all?
I set off the trap. Yes.
Who's in bad shape? Who raised their hands?
I'm okay.
I'm okay.
No, I'm okay.
How are you on your spark? Everybody,
Kairos are fine.
everybody.
I've been in a worse position.
I've been worse, but I could also be a lot better.
Ask Kieran's on feet.
If we're talking a scale of like 1 to 121, I'm sitting at about 67.
It's good that you're listening to your body.
I'll give him a.
It's good to be in tune.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna use subtle spell and give him a 4th level cure wounds,
Oh, hell
so
yeah,
I don't have to
bitch.
speak components out loud.
Fuck yeah, dude.
4th level.
So if you can silence the wizards, the spellcasters, and then we all get as many hits as we can on the big guy.
By big guy, you mean?
I could silence
the
and
bulky
come off
guy.
the wizards,
Yeah.
and then if you
I'm
guys,
more worried about Kendry,
Caster.
personally.
I could silence Kendry as well.
Yeah.
Can't they just walk outside of that?
Kendra
Not
wants
if we
to
all
capture
rush 'em.
us.
If we
I would
don't know it's
say-
been on them.
No,
Why don't
that's
we-
a good plan. But
Why don't we put our own distance fighters and casters on the big guy and everybody else get into the silence?
I
Does-
can
you know what
potentially
I'm saying?
block them in over there. I can create a big ass wall of ice that they just can't get past.
Oh.
And trap us over there too, but you know, Thunderdome.
24 points. 24 points of healing back to Pete.
Hell yeah! Thank you.
Yeah.
I feel much better.
Let's.
Are you guys still within the Chamber of Prophecies, or have you kind of like gone back through the door into the hall? Or
I think
conversing?
I think we've
Yeah, I
realized
think-
we need to have a conversation.
Slowly close the door quietly with your stealth rolls, no problem. And yeah, you're having this conversation in a separate chamber.
If we put them in silence, and everybody who can fight up close gets into the silence with the casters and keeps them there, they can't really do a whole lot of anything. And then if those of us who can't do anything helpful inside of the silence work on the big guy,
At a distance.
give or take, it doesn't really matter which way I go, but we'll want to keep him from joining in the fray.
If we can take care of the silence, I could surround the big guy in darkness, and I can deal with him.
Is the big
No,
guy?
I think you
You
stay on.
can't have darkness and silence. At the
That's what I'm saying. If
I
we can
think
take care of
you-
the silence first, then I can
Oh.
pivot my.
I don't think
If
we're
you
gonna
take
be
care
able
of Forrest,
to
though,
keep him
we
hanging
can.
out. I could.
I feel pretty confident that either if myself and Cholula or myself and Kyrus
Forrest,
stick together
right.
and
Kendrick,
team up on
that's it.
targets one at a time, we can drop them like it's nothing.
Right. Yes. You seem to work well when you're close to one another.
Maybe even all three of us. The three of us pick a target, surround them, exploit their weaknesses, and then once they're down, we move on to the next.
You guys start on the big fella. I'll go for the wizards, and you two go for Kendry.
And we're trying to
Pete and
not
I will
kill
take care of.
Yeah, I'll have to
Is
stand
Kendry
back so
one
I
of
can
the
cast my
wizards?
own spells, but yeah.
Yeah, it would maybe be bad for me to be in charge of. If we're trying to capture somebody, I'm a bad candidate for fighting them.
I can't imagine they're going to go down quickly. So, by the time Pete and I are done, we could. Don't. You know what I mean? You're doing the face like I want to disintegrate thing.
It's one of very few things that I actually. Okay, I'll do my best.
Just
Maybe
saying.
if you come out of the gates with it, it's not too bad of an idea.
Well, that's true.
So Pete
Do it
and I will
before
take care of the
there's,
wizards
any
in silence.
whittled down.
The same old that we did before.
Yeah. Let me. Yeah.
What was that? What did you check?
Sometimes I feel like I have to recharge before I can make another
yeah.
sculpted explosion.
I get you. Yeah.
But I've got other shit I can do too, baby.
Yeah. But I can start with silence. You can do a volley. I'll go in, get out, another volley. By the time we're done, we can help with whomever is stuck.
Yeah. if it seems to not be going well, should I try to make a copy of the writing on the obelisk, a rubbing or something, and we can just try to leave?
How big are the obelisks? Like, how much writing is there?
There's less than the tapestries, but the issue is that, and you guys can tell from like the ones that you were kind of like up against, it seems to start at the top and kind of go at a slight diagonal down and around. So it'd be hard to get a rubbing precisely without like wrapping paper all the way around it, doing the rubbing on each side, and then getting that exact shape again to translate.
Are they using the
It's not
book
impossible.
to translate, or are they translating into the book?
Seems like a combination of both.
What?
Okay. So Pete, let's maybe keep the book intact.
Okay. I mean, if it's a magic book, then it should be fine.
Just throwing it out there. I don't know what you're capable of.
I'll sculpt my explosions around the book.
Okay, so who are we going for first?
Simultaneous?
I figure the three of us on Mace Boy, Mall Boy, whatever, the elf one, drop him, and then from there we all shift our focus non-lethally to Kendry was the name?
Yep.
The
And
Triton one.
And we'll catch up whenever we can. To whomever we need
Who
to.
are we? What?
Kendrick.
Helping out with the wizards? Oh, keeping Kendra busy while the three of us are fighting Elfman.
Oh, I could be very good at keeping somebody busy.
Excellent.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll take Pete's hand.
He holds your hand.
Are there any charges of invisibility left?
Yes.
Yeah.
There were 6 after that, and then I used 2.
4.
So there's 4.
Yeah.
So, do you think the three of us that
Oh,
are going
hell
in?
yeah.
So maybe we can get to him because he's the one that's facing the door.
Yeah.
He holds the dagger up to you.
Okay, cuckoo-ca-choo.
Cuckoo-ca-choo. Cuckoo-ca-choo. The three rogues become invisible.
Yeah.
There's 1 charge left if anybody else just wants to be invisible for fun.
You take it.
Okay.
I've got mine. And I'll just like hold my breath and then exhale really hard and I'm gone.
So,
Thumbs up.
All right.
We'll go up in quietly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sneak
All right.
over to the wizards.
Right at the tail end of Pass Without a Trace, let's make one more stealth check. Those of you who are invisible have advantage. Restore balance.
Hey, yo. That's my godson.
What did you
what?
say? Oh, we have advantage for being invisible?
Natural
Yes.
20, my dude.
Fuck yeah.
Son of a.
A lot of 20s this round. Okay, for Pippin.
This dice, dude.
I'm going to use Flash of Genius. For Hank's roll.
Good idea.
Hell yeah.
44 for Cholula.
44.
No, wait.
That's what Pippin rolled too.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yep, yo.
What did you?
Yeah. 44.
Kairos. Yeah, it's been better.
I like having expertise in things.
Yeah, it's super rad. 14 is gonna be
OP.
25, so 35 for Kairos. Pete's invisible.
Is it better for you if I lean backwards or
Damn, Pete.
It's
Okay.
only on my feet. So I'm keeping my feet where I
29
can
for
feel it.
Pete.
There's a little bit.
Alma, what'd you
Saw
get?
your hair move.
Yeah, there's a little bit here.
What if you have 15?
15.
Better than 2.
Better
I
than 2.
rolled a 2.
Yeah.
Hank and Howie.
Howie got a 21, and Hank got a 31.
31.
Yikes.
Damn, Hank. Okay. And Silas, I think, is all I'm missing.
And natural 20.
Fuck yeah. For a total of
40.
fuck yeah.
Stealth pass without and 20.
35.
My stealth could be higher, too. That's the most
29,
disgusting part.
15 plus
I, just,
31.
I think at that particular level up, I didn't take it because I was about to become invisible. Because monks are weird in that when you level up, you have to gauge
They
what you're.
become invisible.
Yeah,
8.
like I don't want to take too much to stealth because I won't need it.
All right.
If I rolled
So with
nat
a
20
base,
with pass without a trace, it would be 47.
Yeah.
Just
so a base DC to discover your group of 32.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah.
That's not great.
You all quietly make your way into the chamber silently. The door doesn't even squeak on its hinges. It starts to squeak, but Pippin pulls an oil can out of his pack and throws it over the hinges.
Hell yeah.
Silent. You guys enter the chamber of prophecy, I should say, and begin to plan to launch your sneak attack on Kendry and her companions. And that is where we're going to end tonight's episode.
Sorry, Emily.
Hell yeah. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll catch all of you in the next episode. Before we go, I have some patron reads.
And
Names.
Reads.
I'm just going to write down what Pete and I were doing.
Yeah, huge shout out to our lovely patrons. We've got Definitely Not Sam, Scott Shear, Nita Yilva, Eric Firm, Robin Stone, Freya Odensdaughter, Tina Holt, and Al. Thank you so much. If you want to be part of the goods and get the goods, check out patreon.com/Arcanarama. There's a link right here on our Twitch page in our About section. Or if I hit exclamation Patreon, I think, in the chat right now, that's also a link. You can check it out. There's a ton of cool stuff over there, including the Chaos Hours, which we're about to film right now. We're going to talk about the happenings of that session. It's going to be fun. I'm excited about it. We'll see all of you in the next episode, but until then...
I'm sweaty, sorry.
Stay safe out there, adventure!